While most development workers value their work in terms of helping others, the effectiveness of their efforts is by no means guaranteed. Evaluations of development projects frequently report on a lack of outcomes or even project failure. More seriously, development projects can and do at times do harm. Early in my career, I was quite taken back by a community development specialist, several years my elder. After listening politely to my rambling ideas about how to help villages in rural China, she interrupted me with, "Just try not to do any harm." I was a fan of the science fiction TV series Star Trek. Her words reminded me of the Prime Directive, which prohibits Starfleet personnel from interfering with the development of alien civilizations. I resolved to take a more humble approach. Aid is not neutral. How it is distributed can either cause harm or it can strengthen capabilities. Aid programs mostly involve the transfer of resources such as food, shelter, water, healthcare, training into a resource-needing environment. These resources represent power and wealth that often drives competition between different community leaders, households, groups or clans. Where people are in conflict, these resources can become drawn into that conflict. Some people attempt to control and use aid resources to support their side of the conflict and to weaken the other side. If they are successful, or if development workers fail to recognise the impact of their decisions, aid can and does cause harm. Coming from a human rights perspective, the OECD Development Assistance Committee has considered the impact of development. It invited donor agencies to use 10 principles to inform their development assistance programs. Principle 8, Do No Harm, states that donor actions may affect human rights in developing countries in both positive and negative ways. They can inadvertently reinforce societal divisions, worsen corruption, exacerbate violent conflict, and damage fragile political coalitions, especially if issues of faith, ethnicity, and gender are not fully taken into consideration. This is critically important when it comes to women. It is now widely accepted that women's development brings a range of benefits that go well beyond the benefits to individual women, as it greatly improves the health, well-being and productivity of entire communities and countries. Gendered approaches to development will often directly challenge dominant cultural norms that maintain male domination, especially programs seeking to reduce domestic violence, child neglect, or excessive labour demands on women. However, such programs are not without risk, for empowering women and increasing their command over financial resources can actually expose them to increased domestic violence from men. The Conflict Sensitivity Consortium takes a no-harm approach in places with a history of conflict. They advocate careful reflection on how aid workers interact within a community context, their ethics, and the messages that they deliver. Development can build on networks and bring communities together, empower women, and reduce the divisions and tensions that lead to conflict. But much rests on the ethics and wisdom of the frontline leaders involved. In weighing up how to navigate the complex and ethical spaces of development, it is useful to draw on the principles of wise leadership. To be effective in development, to do no harm, one needs a strong awareness of oneself and others, to regulate your emotions under complex and ambiguous contexts, and be sensitive to the impact of your actions on others. Knowing how to frame change in a way that keeps power brokers on side and creates awareness among the oppressed is not something that a development leader can learn from a textbook. It is a skill and insight that is achieved by patient observation and by building relationships, which are the mark of a wise leader.